and it's not about to start. So the press conference, the jury.
Okay, if photographers are done, messieurs les photographes, mesdames les photographes, si vous en avez fini, on pourra commencer la conférence de presse du jury post-palmarès.
So now we're going to start the press conference for the jury after the awards ceremony, which you probably followed on TV or in the room.
Hey, you guys, on that stage tonight, I got so soaking wet, I had to completely change my clothes. I've had pneumonia 11 times. If I catch it again, I'm 81. Goodbye. And I wasn't interested in that scenario. Katayun and I are leaving immediately.
Je vous présente donc les membres du
I'd like to
jury.
introduce the members of the jury.
De ma gauche
From my left,
jusqu'à moi, Monsieur Matt Mikkelsen,
starting with therefore Mads Mikkelsen,
Shahabi,
Katayun Shahabi, Donald Sutherland, who has his monk's hat on, Vanessa Paradis.
Monsieur Cléverrier,
I'll skip the next person, Kirsten Dunst, Arnaud Desplechin, Valeria Golino, Laszlo Nemes, and in the middle, the president of the jury, George Miller.
Et on va avoir une première question tout de suite.
First question.
Hi, Jada Yuan from New York Magazine. I was hoping you guys could discuss your choice for Palme d'Or. You awarded a movie that is about ordinary people struggling to eat, find work, and you're here in Cannes surrounded by wealth and opulence. Did that make the movie resonate in a different way for you? Did you feel any sort of guilt about being here, or did it make you look at your own privilege in a different way?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you said.
I asked if it made you, like, if being surrounded by wealth and opulence in Cannes made the movie resonate in a different way than it might have if you were
No,
at home.
not at all.
And if it made you look at your own position in a different way.
No. No, the movie was just an absolutely terrific movie. You know, it just, movies resonate in your heart and soul. It's irrelevant where you are. You're in the cinema.
Question here.
Somebody else should answer that, actually.
We agree with you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Here at the other side. My name is Géza Csakri from Hungary, Népszabadság Daily. I would like to ask Mr. Nemes about the Grand Prix. You received the Grand Prix last year for Son of Saul, so it has that prize that should be special for you. So are you happy with the jury's decision about giving it to Xavier Dolan, and can you tell us a little bit about the reasons behind the decision?
Yes, absolutely. I was very thrilled to see this film. I was very moved by it, and it was a great experience. I think that was the first film projected on 35 millimeter, which is also something that means much to me. And I think you can see the difference with other modes of projection. And I'm really hoping that in future, competition, you will see more films projected on film and not the TV experience. I really. We all felt, I guess, that it was a very moving journey, and it had the ambitions and tremendous ambitions and much risk taken, and obviously it resonated that the fact that Xavier was on the jury last year. we received the Grand Prix, but it wasn't done on purpose. That I supported this film because of the fact that I got the Grand Prix. There's no linkage in that matter. It's just that we love the film, and it's just when it started, you could feel the very specific voice of a director, and I'm very happy when I see that people are trying to go on different ways and very personal ways, and don't do things that others have done. And I think that's also about the essence of cinema.
Est-ce que les membres du jury pourraient définir, disons, en 3 mots
Would
maximum,
you like to sum up in 3 words the experience of your work as a jury? Was it like a party? Was it passionate? Were there lengthy discussions? Was it difficult?
If you can express in 3 words maximum what the experience was of being on the jury. Was it passionate, brilliant, harsh, fight, love fest? What?
Well, there are lots and lots of adjectives, but the ones that first come to mind was intelligence. I mean, I can only have 3 words. Intelligence, a kind of, I've got to keep 3 words. Fierce and really beautiful. That's more words. Intelligent, fierce, beautiful.
Valeria?
Already?
Yeah, why not?
I was thinking, maybe inspiring and tiring and memorable.
Ms. Dunst, Mr. Desplechin, Vanessa. No, whoever wants to pick up. Go ahead.
What do I say about this group? I think that we all honored each other, I think, in a very nice way. And we listened to each other, too. So, and also, it was very emotional, too.
Vanessa? Oui?
We're passionate, and you say if I felt like I've learned a lot, so it was very, what's the word? Like to have learned a lot. I don't have the adjective, and unforgettable. Yeah, unforgettable.
Pour moi, c'était un voyage incroyable.
For me, it was an incredible, unique, magnificent voyage.
Matt?
Well, I keep coming last, and I know more left.
You're not
You're going to get that one.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I can't add anything. I mean, I think honesty was a very, very fantastic virtue we all had. I wanted to say bloody, but it wasn't really bloody, but he was very passionate. And, well, I can only join the other words. It's going to be banal if I go on, sorry.
It was passion fueled by exquisite consideration for everybody else in the room. Everybody listened and talked. And it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful. Every single one of us is proud of everyone else in this jury. Yeah. It was an association of people that you want to see again and again for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So it was filled with love, above and beyond everything else, and pride, and anyway.
Arnaud?
I felt so. Doesn't work? Does it work? I felt so happy, because it's as if the film festival gave me the opportunity to be a cinema student again, and so I learned a lot, from the all of you. I learned, I didn't stop to learn, so that's why I was so happy.
Yeah, I didn't realize Mats was wearing a headdress, but the 3 of us down here at this end, we're an association.
The question over there.
Bonjour, Huda Ibrahim, cinématographe. Je voudrais savoir
I'd like to know
considération pour un film que
how you viewed a film supported by the critics, the German film Toni Erdmann. Why did you give a prize ex aequo?
Why was Toni Erdmann not mentioned in the among the winners? And quel était le deuxième?
Pourquoi un prix ex aequo?
And why a tie?
Well, let's look at the maths of these things. There are 21 films in competition. That's 21 directors, 21 writers. Multiply that by many times in terms of actors. And so there are many, many variables. There's a totality of 8 prizes. So there are probably a number of films which might feel that they should have been in the awards. The one thing I can say is this jury, even though it was a very, it was a wonderful experience, it was also incredibly rigorous and vigorous. Arguably, we debated longer than most juries, and nothing was left unsaid. And these are the results, and I believe it's I think it represents what the people in the room were thinking in response to the films that Thierry put together in the time. We avoided looking at what other people were saying because it was our responsibility to come up collectively. The most important thing is we had to all share in that process, and that was it. Beyond that, being on the jury at Cannes, it should be the case on every jury, there's a kind of confidentiality that you could argue that lawyers and doctors have to respect, and that's part of our responsibility here. So it would be unfair for me to say anything about the films which were included or excluded. In terms of shared prize, that was in the balance of things. There are certain rules about how the prizes are given, and we try to do not the best we can. We did the best. We did the best we could over many, many, many hours and days of conversation. And I'd just like to say, again, for me, it really was like going to film school. It's such a privilege to be earnestly, passionately talking about cinema in this way. So anyway, I hope that answers your question.
And it was astounding how much all of these people that I didn't know before knew about cinema. The depth and the extent of knowledge was just extraordinary to listen to. I was in awe, me, old, sitting there. You listen to everyone, Catullon, you listen to Laszlo, you listen to George, everyone. It was just really quite extraordinary.
Jason?
Jason Gorber from Cineplex.com and Twitch Film. Congratulations on your decision. It sounds like it was all universally decided upon. I'm wondering if you could talk about the privilege you felt about celebrating certain films that you all collectively came to. And you talk about learning. What do you think that you've learned about this process, specifically in terms of your own art, watching these films? And how do you think your jury responsibilities will translate into the films and the performances that you do in the future now that you've seen this showcase of remarkable international cinema?
For me. No, I can't say, I learn different things from everyone. Everyone teach me, different kind of things, but it would be difficult for me to put it in words. It was to go through that experience that I learned. After that, I will shoot my next film, in a few months, and it was a fantastic experience because it nourishes me, a lot to see a lot of material, to see the cinema of today and and its diversity. Not only the ones who are honored, with the prize, but all the films, nourish me because it's a photography that Thierry Frémaux is proposing to us, saying, okay, this is the cinema of 2016, so to see that picture, and I just wanted to be part of that picture.
Question over there.
Hi, Chris Knight with National Post and Post Media from Toronto. Question for Mr. Miller and anyone else who wants to comment on it. There were a number of films this year by female directors, some very strong films by the female directors, and a wealth of amazing female performances. And I just wonder if the representation or underrepresentation of women in film was ever touched upon by the jury during your deliberations. Thanks.
Again, without going into any specifics, I think each film was judged on its merits. There wasn't I don't remember there being a specific conversation about whether it should go to this kind of film because someone was a woman or not. Filmmaking is filmmaking, and it didn't really come up as a specific thing. We're looking at other issues. But I agree, there were an extraordinary number of really fine performances by female actors. And there were some fine performances by men, but I think it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that there was abundance of female performances.
But we did look at a wonderful performance by a woman who was playing a man.
Yeah. In the Bruno Dumont movie. That's the one you mean, Donald?
Huh?
Yes, but who is the actress?
A girl that is playing the boy.
Yes.
No, but I mean, it was just an alternative.
I believe that the answer to that question the next 50, maybe 100 years will be the same. I mean, there are places where it's really, really up for debate that we have to do something about certain things, but for us as a jury, we pray, we hope that people have been selected for this competition because they made good films, not because they were a man or a woman or something else. So for us at this point, it's not something we take in and work with. We take it for granted that the selected films here are nominated because of their qualities, and I guess that will be the answer for the next few years.
To go one step beyond this, there's a question that came to us through social networks from a lady named Phoebe Doby, and she asked whether, to the best of your knowledge and your assessment, do you think this year's films show more complex three-dimensional female characters than in previous years?
Is that to me? Well,
I think there was an abundance of female characters. I felt there was more than other times, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I felt I saw a lot of movies where women characters were the main character, the main.
You have one actress slot, that you can fill, and we had loads and loads of women that were up for that slot. Didn't we?
We saw, yeah. Even I've seen great performances, even in movies that I didn't like. And even the movies that I didn't like have left me with something. I think in this sense is an amazing experience because we like some movies, we didn't like all of them. At least I didn't. I can talk for me. But even the movies that I thought they were less beautiful. Each one of those movies have left me with an image, something nourishing, like he said, something, beautiful even. And in that sense, I do think that the selection was a very, very, very interesting selection, representative of movies today.
Okay, we'll take two more questions. Go ahead.
Yes, Anthony D'Alessandro from Deadline Hollywood. I have a question about the abundance of female actresses here at the Fest. Why did you select Jacqueline Jose for Ma Rosa? Some critics felt it was a supporting performance. If you could comment on your selection.
All right.
I think the critics were wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom line, that's a big-time leading role.
Come on, she's the film. I mean, have you seen the performance she gave? I mean, she broke my heart.
Everybody's heart, actually.
At the end of that movie, that vision that she has and her reaction to it while she's eating those 4 white balls, But there were lots of really great performances by women. Haley Squires, the young woman in the Romania. You've got to make a decision. Do you give it to the director? Do you give it to the screenwriter? Because you can't give an actor's performance in a film that you select for something else. It's the rule.
I think I'm not giving away anything, but everyone is aware that over time, a certain voting pattern or rules have evolved. And in an attempt for a festival like this, which celebrates cinema, there's an attempt not to have one film or another take too many awards. So there's a strict protocol in that process. The films which win the first 3 prizes, Palme d'Or, Grand Prix, and a director, cannot win any other prizes. Now, that may seem unfair, but it makes sense because occasionally, and I know I've been on the jury before, well over a decade ago, and I think a film, Rosetta, won at least another. It won Palme d'Or, and it won Best Actress, and that now is. It's part of the rules of the festival that won't happen. So, but I'm getting too much into the detail about it. But there's an attempt to be fair and to share these. So, and it's a balance. I've described the collective decision we've made. It's like us creating a painting. It's mixing. We looked at every variable, not just of one award. It's not like voting for Academy Awards and so on, which you just tick off the vote without any discussion with anybody else on whatever category you like. In this case, as a jury, we're coming together and mixing something that's highly well crafted with something that's innovative but quite not as mastered, with all these balances that we're looking at, and we're looking at the awards as a totality. So that's a way of explaining this, why we spend so much time, so much rigor in this process, because it was frankly exhausting, just not emotionally exhausting, just everyone talking so passionately about it. It was. But that's not to say it wasn't great fun and a great privilege.
Having said that, coming back to your question, is that we found her to be a wonderful leading actress, a master of her skills, regardless of what the rules are in this festival. It was not a supporting character. It was an absolutely beautiful performance for a lead actress. That's why she got it.
Last question.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Miller.
Just a second. What George was saying was that you have to look at the whole thing because it's a collage. All of the pieces, it's a jigsaw puzzle. All of the pieces fit together and they're all part of the process. And exhausting it was, but I have to tell you, when I get on a plane tomorrow morning, I'm going to quite very sincerely miss it, because for all the work and everything else, I loved being with these people. I loved seeing these films. I loved talking and deciding and listening. It was wonderful. And I think that what we have given you is a very complete, given the parameters that we have to work in, a very complete and satisfying assessment of our judgment. All of us.
Yeah. Alors, la dernière question.
Last question.
The Iranian film Frushandu by Mr. Ashkar Farhadi, or as you would say in English or French, Le Client, or The Salesman. I was particularly noticing that this prize received 2 awards out of 7. My question is, like you, Mr. Miller, already has partially been reading my mind and foreseen it, but are we to read or interpreting anything special into this fact that one film received 2 awards? From my personal point of view, and I'm still from a neighboring country from Mr. Mickelson's, that has had some legendary international cineastic profiles. And I must say this was one of the greatest films I ever seen. Are we to interpret anything of it? I see that you're nodding, Mr. Sutherland. So I would like to hear your comment and the comment of Mr. Mickelson, perhaps, and the comment of Mr. Miller, please.
Me?
Mr. Miller.
Well, sorry, is the question whether is the fact that it won 2 awards an indicator of its worth? Are you saying?
The question is, of course, mixed, and you have partially already been reading my mind with the answer you gave. But could we interpret anything special in the fact you said that there were certain circumstances you could award more than 1 prize? Should we read anything in that, or, well, it's a kind of 2 questions to your general appreciation?
Can the question be slightly shorter? Thank you, and to the point.
Is Terry here? I just wanted to make sure that we could talk about the rules. We are allowed, and just to make it clear, I'm sure this has evolved over time, because it was different when I was on the jury in 1999, and it was different again when I was on the jury in 1988. But we can only give one film 2 prizes. There is a temptation to reward everything or give prizes or acknowledge everything through rewards. But if a jury is passionate about films, about cinema, you just want to do it. We've all been here. But the festival quite rightly says, let's not dilute it. So that's an indicator. It was arrived at in a very complex way, a very thorough way, and all I can keep on saying, we were finding the balance of things. Now, there are 9 people on this jury. There are many, many people who are writing about films and who are critics on films, who attend the films, and each have an individual opinion. Everybody has an opinion. It's subjective, and in this case, as 9 people, I called it the 9-headed beast, and it was a collective experience, hard won over many many hours during the weeks of during the days of the festival, and today, where we intensified and distilled the conversations we had. So it's an exhaustive process, and we can sit here feeling as though, as I said, nothing's been left unsaid, and it's collective, and it is an opinion that's a shared opinion of all of us. So there's no question of the thousands of people writing and talking and attending the festival that people are going to say, "Oh, I wish that, I wish this, I wish this didn't happen," but that's the game, and that's part of the fun or the game of the festival, of any festival, yeah.
Well, based on your answers, it has been intense, it has been fun, and you're exhausted. So it's time for you to go and enjoy the night.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you all very much.